wondered what happens when David meets Goliath in the ring? In combat sports, size mismatches create some of the most thrilling showdowns. Join us as we dive into the intense battles where giants clash with fighters half their size. Dawid Ostoba faced off against Robert Barnaga, a 120-kilogram bodybuilder from Lithuania. Ostoba landed some solid shots, but soon shifted tactics, playing cat and mouse, dodging rather than
In the unpredictable world of combat sports, there's a specific type of matchup that never fails to capture the imagination of fans. The clash between giants and underdogs. The modern-day David versus Goliath battles, where massive fighters tower over their much smaller opponents, bring an undeniable element of drama, danger, and pure adrenaline. These aren't just fights. They're modern gladiator tales that defy logic and test the limits of what skill, courage, and heart can overcome. All around the world, from local underground brawls to professional MMA promotions, we've seen these jaw-dropping mismatches play out in real time. The question always lingers in the air. Can technique, speed, and willpower overcome sheer size and strength? Sometimes, the answer shocks the world. These fights often start with a visual mismatch, so extreme it almost feels like a joke. A 5 feet 6 inches striker, weighing 145 pounds, faces off against a 6 feet 8 inches monster tipping the scales at over 300. The crowd either laughs or gasps, not sure what to expect. But then the bell rings, and
wondering what just hit him. Iortor Gaspar faced off against Bulgarian bodybuilder Zdravko Tarnad in an exhibition bout at the Dogfight Wild tournament. Gaspar's initial takedown attempt was as successful as trying to catch a bar of soap in the shower. Realizing he needed a new strategy, Gaspar decided to spice things up. Before transitioning to a ground-and-pound finish that proved muscles alone don't guarantee victory in the ring. Romanian fighter Bogdan Nastase faced Freddy Gonzalez, a Cuban who seemed more like a retired bodybuilder dabbling in kickboxing. The bout was a comedy of mismatched skills, with Gonzalez taking a knee with nearly every punch the Romanian threw.
Freddy. Casată de Freddy, o stângă bună, pică încă o dată la podea, Freddy. Încă o dată la podea, dar trebuie să fie numărat, cred.
And after a big right hand, the referee stopped the action thanks to the 3 knockdown rule.
Oh, ce crochet de...
This isn't funny anymore. It's real, and anything can happen. Let's go back to one of the most iconic modern examples. Hongman Choi versus Fedor Emelianenko. Choi, a South Korean colossus standing 7 feet 2 inches and weighing over 350 pounds, looked like a literal giant compared to Fedor, who stood just 6 feet tall and weighed 230. On paper, it looked like a squash match, but Fedor, considered one of the greatest MMA fighters of all time, stayed calm under pressure. Choi used his size, strength, and reach to press forward, but Fedor waited, timed his moment, and locked in an armbar that defied every physical expectation. The giant tapped. David had beaten Goliath, but not every story ends in victory for the little guy. Sometimes Goliath crushes David, literally. In bare-knuckle or street fighting scenes, massive fighters can impose their will in terrifying fashion. When a smaller opponent lacks elite skill, a huge size gap can be devastating. Punches from a 300-pound brawler can break jaws. A single takedown can end a match. These fights often go viral not for their technical mastery, but for the sheer chaos they unleash. They're unpredictable, dramatic, and at times hard to watch, but they're...
Before long, he found himself tasting the bitter canvas once more. As the battle raged on, Dominic's corner made the tough call to stop the fight due to a leg injury. handing Claudio the victory by TKO. In an MMA showdown, TJ Britton squared off against Hatley Jr., who faced a significant 10-inch height disadvantage. The opening round saw some back-and-forth action, but it was Hatley who landed the devastating combo that rocked his opponent. Before finishing with relentless hammer fist, sending Britton in the depths of unconsciousness. In a matchup that seemed straight out of a comic book, the towering 6'8" faced off against 5'3" Ray Masson Bruno in a modern David vs. Goliath saga. Bruno wasted no time and went for a takedown. The Giant tried hard to overpower the Brazilian veteran, but Bruno eventually took top control. Before locking his opponent in an armbar to seal his fate.
Very real. Why do promoters set up these mismatches? One word: spectacle. Size difference sells. It evokes the primal thrill of survival. The idea that heart and bravery might conquer brute force. It's storytelling without words. The moment two fighters walk into the ring with a visible mismatch in size, the narrative writes itself. The smaller fighter is the underdog. The bigger fighter is the threat. And the audience, whether they admit it or not, loves to see the unexpected. One of the most extreme examples came from a viral Polish MMA fight, where Martin Ford, a bodybuilder nicknamed the Nightmare, towered over a smaller opponent by nearly 100 pounds. The match was hyped beyond belief. Ford's muscles, tattoos, and sheer presence made him look unbeatable. But when the fight started, the audience quickly realized something. Size isn't everything. While the smaller fighter struggled to hurt the Giant, Ford had trouble keeping up with the speed, cardio, and angles of his nimble opponent. Though the fight ended without a clear KO, it reminded fans that there are more layers to fighting than just mass and muscle. Another unforgivable fight.
Kratos managed to get back up, but was buried under an avalanche of an ice-cold assault.
Continuă să urce în ring, să evolueze ca sportiv profesionist și
Ismail Lazar squared off against Andrew Thompson. Right out of the gate, Lazar rattled the towering South African with a Thorish right hand, before unleashing a flurry that demolished him in seconds. In the 2007 K1 Super Heavyweight title bout, Semi Shield clashed with Ray Sefo, who drew first blood by rattling Shield with a fiery combination. Sefo's launched nuclear rights and ballistic lefts to rattle Shield a few more times, before capping off a clinic round in style, flooring Shield with a crunching left hook. But just as it looked like Sefo was a few blows away from victory, Shield met him with a counter left hook. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please subscribe to the channel and smash that notifications button. We'll see you in the next one.